Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, folks, welcome back. We're looking at circles today. Now, circles consist of, we have three measurements on the circle. So the circumference, C is the distance around the outside of the circle, is measured in unit length, i.e. millimeters, centimeters, meters, etc. So the actual length of the circle itself, or if you were to travel along the circle, the rim of the circle, that would give you its circumference. The radius is the distance. The next item, R. The radius is the distance between the center of the circle and the circle itself. It is half of the diameter. The diameter now is the distance from one side of the circle to the other side of the circle going through the center. So it is double the radius. We're just defining our names that we have for different parts of the circle. Now, hopefully everybody's copied this down. What we're going to do now, we're going to go into some of the formulas now that link these together. So I'm just going to get to a new page. Now here comes some of the formulas. Now the circumference is equal to pi d. Okay, or the circumference is equal to 2 pi r. So that's a formula for circumference. Next we have radius. We said radius is equal to half of the diameter. And we said the diameter is equal to double of radius. Two other little mini formulas. And the key formula to do with circles, which we didn't mention on the first page, was the area. And the area of a circle is equal to pi r squared. Okay. So these are the formulas that we need to know when we can start doing the work on circles. Now, these are the basic formulas. We're going to later on in the latter part of the lesson, we should be looking at how we manipulate these formulas to work with semicircles and quarters of circles. But it's all based on these formula. Remember, circumference, we're given two variations, one with the diameter, one with the radius. And the area has only one variation, which is area equals pi r squared. Now, what we need to do, we need to start looking at some questions involving these. So let's get started without any further delay. Let's get a circle for ourselves. Okay, let's get a green circle. So let's have a circle. Now, in this particular circle, we are told the radius. We are told the radius is equal to 11 meters. Okay. Now, so question number 1. So we're given a circle with a radius 11 meters. We are told to work out the circumference of the circle and to work out the area of the circle and also to work out the diameter of the circle. Yes, Yusuf? Okay, hang on a second. I'm just posing the question. I haven't asked the question to anybody. So we've got to work out all the information to the circle knowing the radius. The easiest thing for us to work out first of all is to work out the diameter. Now we know from the formula diameter, the diameter is equal to double of the radius. What is the radius?
11 meters.
11 meters. So diameter equals 2 times by 11. Diameter equals to 22 meters. Yeah, so the diameter is done. You've got to work at the circumference. So to work at the circumference, we use the formula for circumference. Now, we've been given the radius, so we can use this formula here. Or even that one, because we also now know the diameter. I'm going to use the second formula first. Yeah. So the circumference is equal to 2. Okay, get the calculator out, please. Time by pi, time by scientific calculus, please. Here, go on, get on. I think there's one of the room on that you were using earlier. Should be 5 calculators altogether. Get your own calculator as well. There should be 5 calculators altogether.
I've got one in my bag, that's 4.
Oh, that was it all? Jesus. Okay.
Where's 5?
Okay, sorry a second. Okay. Other room.
5. Found it. Does anybody need one? I've got one.
Okay, let's go for this. So the circumference is equal to, now pi normally has the value of 3.142 decimal places. So we haven't mentioned what pi is. Pi is a constant is a constant that is a value that is used that connects the radius and the circumference together, and also the area with the radius. It's a constant of proportionality, and pi is equal to 3.14 if you measure it to 2 decimal places, or if you round it to decimal places. Time by the radius, but also you can use the pi button in the calculator as well. Time by 11. So for this calculation here, we have to use the calculator. Okay, before we do that, let me get my calculator sorted. Okay, right now. So we worked out the diameter quite easily, because the diameter is double the radius. So we just double that. 2 times by 11 is 22. Now to work out the circumference, we're going to do 2 times by pi times by r. So we're going to do 2 multiplied by pi. Now pi is over here. So if I shift exp, that is pi time by 11 is the radius equals. So we now get an answer of 69.115. Let's write that down. 69.115, blah, 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 blah. Now you can't give the answer like that. When you give the answer, you've got to give the answer to a sensible degree of accuracy. Now if the radius is 11 meters, the sensible degree of accuracy will be 1 decimal place. Okay, because you used 3.14. Okay, and I've used 3.1. Use the actual value of pi. Yeah.
I can't get them.
You can. Okay, just to show you a quick difference of using the pi button and also using 3.14. As one of the students have just pointed out that there is a difference. Of course, there's a difference. 2 times by 3.14 times by 11 equals. Okay, right. Now, 69.8. Let's have a look at these two values. Now, this one is done using the 3.14 value. This one here is using the pi button on the calculator. Now, if you round both of these numbers off to 1 decimal place, that'll give us what? 69.1 meters. If you round this off to 1 decimal place, that will also give you 69.1 meters. So it works out the same answer for both in this particular instance, but not always. Okay? So if they tell you use 3.14, use 3.14. If they don't tell you, you can use the pi button on the calculator as well. To get the pi button on the calculator, you found it? Yeah, sorted?
Yeah.
Okay, so what have we done so far? We have worked out the diameter, and we worked out the circumference. So what's left to work out now?
Area.
Area. So now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use this area formula here and start working with this. So here's the area formula here. I'm just going to nick the formula and just leave it there. It's equal to pi, so we could use our 3.14 to do the decimal place times by the radius squared, which is 11 squared. So we launch our calculator, so we do 3.14. Whoops. 3.14 multiplied by 11 squared equals 379.94. Okay, you get that? 379.94. That's the rough answer for the area. So if you look over here, each question we started the formula. 379.94 is the area. Now we're going to round that up to 1 decimal place. So we look at this number, decide as less than 5, so you leave it alone. So now, what do you realize about the units for this particular question?
It's meters.
Is it?
Meters squared.
Times by 11 squared, you type the 112. 11 then squared. Okay. So the final answer will be 379.9 meters squared. Area is the only one that will give you squared units. All the rest will give you like in meters. Now I don't. Yeah, we did put the answer down here. And we get rid of this. So the circumference equals that. So the circumference equals that. So 3 answers. 1, 2, 3. Okay, are we happy with those 3? Yeah. I'm going to clear the page. Okay, fix that screen up. Press the button on the screen. Careful. Okay, for someone, hurry up, copy this down, please. Come on. Gotta make a move. Right, here comes another circle. In this particular question, we've been told that the diameter of the circle has been given. It is
22 centimeters.
22 centimeters. So the diameter is given as 22 centimeters. We have been told now to work out the radius. We've been told to work out the circumference. We've been told to work out the area. Now, what did we say earlier on the previous page? We said that if you know the diameter, you can quite easily work out the radius. What is the radius?
11 centimeters.
Radius is equal to the diameter divided by
2.
That's the formula. The diameter is 22. Divided by 2 will give you 11 centimeters. So that's the radius done. Next is the circumference. Now we're going to use the other formula now. Circumference is equal to pi times by d. So we're saying here that the circumference is equal to pi, which is 3.14 to the decimal places, times by the diameter, which is 22. So the circumference is equal to so using 3.14 multiplied by so I guess an answer of Now we need to write that off to one decimal place because that's too much. So 69.1 centimeter is the answer to one decimal place. Okay, all right. Okay, right. So we worked out the radius from the diameter. We worked out the circumference using the diameter given, using the 3.14 value. So we got two answers so far. 11 centimeters for the radius, circumference 69.1 centimeters. Now we need to work out the, what's left to work out? Area. Let's work out the area now. And we know that the area is equal to pi times by r squared. Remember, area is r squared. So we said the area is equal to 3.14. Remember, the radius was given to us, we worked out in the beginning, which is over here, 11 times by 11 squared. So the area equals, so here's the area, here's the pi value, here's the r value. Okay. Now, so you need to put this in the calculator and get busy. So 3.14 times by 11 squared. So I get an answer 379 point.
Yeah.
Remember, we're going to round up to one decimal place, not two. So you put the line over here. We look at the decided digit, which is less than 5. So we say the area is equal to 379.9 centimeters squared.
What did you round it up to one decimal point?
One decimal place, not point. So you stop after the first decimal place, look at the second decimal place. If it's 5 or more, you add 1 to the decider. Remember, we've done the decider and the last digit.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the decider digit. Pardon me. This is the last digit, and this is the decider one. So if this one here is 5 or more, you add 1. If it's less than 5, you leave it alone. So you haven't got to halfway number. Yes? Are we happy to have you? So in this question was different than the first one. The first one that we gave you the radius, and you had to work everything out. Here I gave you the diameter, then we worked on the radius, and then we worked the circumference and area. Okay? So we can use different formulas for circumference. We can use this, every formula stays the same each time for these kind of questions. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of questions for you to try now. I'll draw them for you at the bottom.
What do we do with clean page?
So I'll leave it here for you. Why give you a clean page for? Here you go. So let's have a look. Let's give you a question like this. And a question like that. And then a question like that. So we have those questions. Let's put some values on there for you folks. The red dot represents the center of the circle. Now let's give you some measurements.
Can we do it one at a time?
I wasn't expecting to do 4 one time. I'm going to give you 4 questions to do. I don't expect you to do 4 questions simultaneously.
I can do that.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so here the measurement is
27 meters.
millimeters.
You have to do which one is it, big dot, like this. Oh, you have to do that again. So hard. But I don't get this pi thing. Basically pi.
Shh, answer. Pi is it's a what do we say? We say it is a constant, the number they're given us here. It's a value which is called the proportionality of the circle. So you have the circumference and diameter is a constant of proportionality. Okay, so when you divide the circumference by the diameter, you get the pi value. Okay, so the pi value is all it is that it's for you in this kind of questions. You use a 3.14.
Repairing.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
So it's connected to the circle by when you start doing circumference divided by diameter, you always get this number. Any circle, if you get circumference and you get the diameter, you divide them together. You always get this pi value coming up again and again. So it connects the circumference and the diameter together. It's called a constant of proportionality. Okay, and it has a value of 3.14 to 2 decimal places. All you know is that when you see the pi value, put 3.14 in there. Okay, there's nothing really much to understand with that. Now, I want you to do this 4 questions on the bottom. I want you to work out everything. So, for example, I will want you to work out if they give you the radius. If they give you the radius, work out the diameter. If they give you the diameter, work out the radius, work out the circumference, and work out the area. You won't have to work 4 things out because you've already been given one anyway. So in the first question, the diameter has been given to you. So in that case, you work out the radius, circumference, and area. The second one, the radius has been given to you. Diameter, radius. So you've got to work out 3 items for each question. If they give you diameter, work out radius, circumference, area. If they give you radius, work out diameter, circumference, area. Off you go.